Erin, it's good to have you back. I'm glad you came today. How are you doing?
Feeling a little overwhelmed still.
Okay, so I remember last time we met, you were telling me that you were feeling a little overwhelmed because you just found out that you are pregnant, correct?
Yes.
With your fourth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about that. When did you find out? Where were you? What were you doing?
I was feeling a little weird and unloading all the children from dropping off my oldest at school and decided, this is a feeling I know is too familiar, and decided to check, and there he was, and I was in shock. Cried. Called my husband and cried, and he was very excited, but I don't know that I can say I feel excited yet.
What's that like to have him feel excitement and you feel kind of the opposite almost?
Makes me feel a little guilty that this should be an exciting thing, but I just feel overwhelmed by the kids I already have.
Mm-hmm.
So partly feels just because he doesn't know exactly what the workload is like being the mommy.
What do you mean by that?
He doesn't have to be pregnant with the baby and be with him when he's at work and nurse the baby and all of that.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. Because it's all consuming, It takes all of you. It takes everything, right? So I see on your intake form that you did last week that you're a believer in God, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So how does that kind of play into all of this? As far as, does that help some, or do you feel like that makes an impact?
Yeah, I think there is, even if I can't feel hopeful right now, there's a future hope that this will turn out good, and that there's a reason for another life. So that's helpful.
Yeah. How do you think the kids would respond?
Oh, they'll be so happy. Yeah, they're not going to be bothered by it at all. Yeah.
So that makes it even harder for you to feel the way that you're feeling.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes me feel guilty in a different way, just already not knowing if I am able to devote the right attention to each one as it is for what they need at their age, because they're so little and they need a lot. So.
Yeah. And so how is it like at home when you're feeling overwhelmed? What are things that you try to do to combat those feelings?
Things that don't make me feel better in the long run, like zone out on my phone or watch TV or get sucked into the YouTube time warp.
It is a time warp.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yeah.
For sure. And so when you say it doesn't make you feel better in the long run, how does it make you feel in the short run?
Just to turn off and not have to think about it or deal with it.
So kind of sounds like avoiding a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything that you do that you find does help in the long run?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. I think it's just still too new. I mean, probably good things in the future will be engaging and with friends and other believers and reading my Bible and praying. But right now, that's just, I don't really feel like I have the strength to do that yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's because you've, of course, felt overwhelmed before in the past, plenty of times. I mean, we all have, right? What are things that you've done in other times in your life when you've been feeling overwhelmed? What are things that you've tried to kind of cope with that?
Making lists, that's something that's helpful. Making a list of all the things and surrendering that to Jesus and being able to see it as a legitimate thing, that I'm feeling overwhelmed by all of those things, but also that they're not really that big.
What do you mean by that?
Like, if I can write them all down, they're not innumerable. They have a number and a measure. So
that's a good point. Because it can feel like in the moment you can feel like it's everywhere. It's all around you. It is everything. And so I can see that how putting it down on paper could be useful. That's a good skill you've got there. When did you learn that?
I think the first time I did it was when I was surprised by my second pregnancy.
Ah, so this is a trend. Wow. Did someone suggest it to you, or
just had it as an idea? Tried it and it worked. So at least that time, and a few other times since then.
Yeah. So putting everything down on paper and making it seem more manageable. Is that something that you feel like would be useful now, or you're just not you're just kind of in crisis mode right now?
Yeah, I'd say I'm in crisis. Like, it is fourth child with a 9-month-old who is still breastfeeding.
Yeah.
That's like right there in my face.
Do this. What does this mean?
Like, I can't see around it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just blocking my view.
Yeah, it's like yeah, exactly like you're saying. It's blocking everything else. It's all you can focus on. Here's a weird question. When your kids are feeling overwhelmed, what do you tell them to do?
Take a deep breath. To take a break. Let them sit with me for a while and do small things at a time. One step at a time.
Well, that's good advice. Do you ever take that advice yourself?
Not so much. Sometimes.
How come?
I feel like there's just too many things to do. And a lot of them are important things. Or seem important anyways. So.
Like what?
Like piles of dishes and loads of dirty laundry and somebody's booty needing wiped and someone needing to be fed again for the 5th time today.
And that's valid. I mean, those are all important things. Those are all things you can't avoid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, those are all things that have to be taken care of. But at the same time, you need to be taken care of, too. Yeah. So what would that look like if you were able to do something to take care of yourself? What would that look like?
I could have quiet where nobody needed me for a little while.
What's a little while?
An hour or more.
I think that's probably doable. I mean, it seems like you have some friends in the church who can help you out with that.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's difficult to ask for help. I can see that. Yeah. But you've got this. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Becky.
Yeah.